Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone and the Miserable Liberal.
I'm miserable.
Howdy, howdy.
So guess what? We talked about the petrodollar. So people are, if you ever wondered, like, why are we friends with Saudi Arabia? They're like the most brutal dictatorship in the world. They chop people's heads off in public. They are so oppressive to women. They spread terrorism, ISIS, Wahhabism, all around. Why would we be friends? Because of the petrodollar. Mm-hmm. And what the petrodollar is that Saudi Arabia agreed to, if you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you have to first turn your currency into U.S. dollars. So that's a big deal, and it helps prop up our dollar and our economy. And what we promise them back for doing that is the use of our military. That's what that is all about. So we've explained that before, and I've showed you videos of John Kerry admitting this and stuff like that. John Kerry admitting that they had offered to pay, Saudi Arabia had offered to pay for our invasion of Syria. If we would invade at their behest and overthrow Assad, they'd pay for the whole thing. Like they had done in the past, he said. That's John Kerry. So that's why we're friends with Saudi Arabia, just so you can set like, because why wouldn't we be more friends with Iran, even though we overthrew their government? So Iran had a democratically elected president named Mossadegh. We overthrew him because he wanted to keep the oil for his own people. Can't do that. As long as there's the United States and Shell Oil around, baby, and BP. So we overthrew him, installed the Shah, who was a horribly oppressive dictator. And then what happens? They got thrown into a right-wing, another right-wing dictatorship. That's when the religious faction took over. There was a revolt, and now the Ayatollah Khomeini took over. Now the Ayatollahs run it, but they still have elections and they have a president. Well, guess what Iran decided to do? This is from April 19th. Iran switches from dollar to euro. So Iran's feud with the U.S. is set to get worse after Tehran announced yesterday that it will start reporting foreign currency amounts in euros rather than U.S. dollars as part of the country's effort to reduce its reliance on the American currency due to political tension with Washington. So it's going to start reporting foreign currency amounts in euros rather than U.S. dollars. The move has been seen by Iranian officials as a logical and necessary step. The threat of further U.S. sanctions has destabilized Iran's foreign exchange market in recent months. So the threat of further U.S. sanctions against Iran has destabilized Iran's foreign exchange market. Bank transactions involving the dollar are already difficult for Iran. Sanctions have made U.S. banks unwilling to do business with Tehran, and foreign firms can be exposed to sanctions if they do Iranian deals in dollars, even if the operations involve non-U.S. branches. And so what happens when Iran decides to go off the dollar? I don't know. What happened when Libya tried to go off the dollar? Let's see. Oh, breaking. U.S. designates head of Iran central bank as a terrorist. It's almost funny. I mean, it is funny, literally, to me. That's funny. That makes me laugh. If you know the backstory, it's funny. If you don't, just like boxing. Boxing's not interesting unless you know the backstory. Same thing with this. If you know the backstory, it's hilarious.
They say Euro, we say terrorist.
So, just so you know, I tweeted this out. This is Secretary of State John Kerry said, "We declared ISIS a terrorist group early on, and we could not convince our colleagues, Saudi Arabia, to stop supplying them." But they're not. Their central bank guy isn't a terrorist. Isn't that weird? How Saudi Arabia, even though they fund ISIS, not terrorists.
Nope.
Hillary Clinton, to be fair, we helped create the problem, Al-Qaeda. We are now fighting. That's Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said that. To be fair, we created Al-Qaeda, the problem we are now fighting. She said that. So two Secretary of States showing that Saudi Arabia funding terrorists, we create terrorists. Here's John McCain said, "We were meeting in the White House over 2 years ago, and everyone in the national security team recommended arming ISIS." Now, That's a meme I saw on Twitter, so that's probably not true, right? I mean, he probably didn't say that.
Hillary Clinton has described already the meeting in the White House over 2 years ago. Everyone in the national security team recommended arming ISIS, and the president by himself turned it down. Just like by himself, he decided not to strike Syria.
Just by himself, he decided not to. You know why? Because Congress had voted to not strike Syria. You know that? He's such a warmongering maniac, John McCain is. He wants to kill people all over the globe. He is the moral superior of no one. He is a warmongering, bloodthirsty, fucking psychopath. That's what John McCain is. And a patriot. You think I'm not? You want to hear something? Did he really say that?
Everyone in the national security team recommended arming ISIS.
But it's Tehran. Or do you say Tehran? But it's Tehran, the chief officer of the Central Bank of Tehran. They're terrorists. We invaded Iraq illegally, killed hundreds of thousands of people, displaced millions more, wiped out a country. But the country next to it, their guy's a terrorist. It's almost hilarious, right? I mean, it is funny to me. Maybe it shouldn't be, but it's funny. Makes me laugh, legitimately laugh.
You've got to. Yeah, you've got to.
It's so fucking... There you go. So, Iran... Isn't that great? Iran switches from dollar to euro and terrorists. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon, and July 15th in Chicago, Illinois. We're doing a live show July 15th in Chicago, Illinois. Go to a link right there for all the tickets to all the live Jimmy Dore shows. Plus, if you can help become a premium member, we give you hours of bonus material every week. Become a patron or a premium member. And if you're on Steam It, we're steaming it right now. Plus, every Saturday, we do a live Super Solid Chat Saturday where it's a live stream and you can ask us questions and we'll answer them back. Every Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks for your support.